Hello guys, and welcome to my first YouTube video. So yeah, slightly nervous, not really got in front of the camera, but I've decided to go ahead and make this short video, basically just to show you what my kit entailed on the West Highland Way. I've watched an awful lot of videos, I've done an awful lot of research, I've read endless reviews and gear reviews and stuff like that to try and get the best kit that I could find and afford to do the West Highland Way with, to make my journey that much more comfortable and my pack weight something manageable to carry it the 96 miles. So without any further ado, we'll explode my Atom Plus. We'll talk about the gear that I took, go through some of the do's and don'ts, or some of the things that I was going to do and I didn't do, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, let's explode the pack. Right, welcome back. I've exploded the pack, as you can see. What I'm going to do is individually go through each sort of item and tell you what I thought about it and whether it worked, whether it didn't. And before I do that, I just want to add that in no way, shape or form is this video sponsored or any of the gear on review. It's purely what is my personal review about the bit of gear. Some people may have had different experiences. This is about my experience. I'm not sponsored by no one. None of this equipment's been given to me. It was all bought with my own fair money. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the pack. Okay, so this is a Atoms pack, Atom Plus, and I went with a 50 litre. It's grid stop Dyneema. Comes in with the hip belt at 650 grams. Full modular system, so the hip belt can be removed. You can also add hip belt pockets, big stretchy Dyneema pocket at the back there, threaded elastic for hanging kit to dry it, or as I was doing when I packed out my rubbish when breaking down camp, I just sort of stuff there, and then when we found the first bin, it was easily accessible just to throw in the bin. It's got the bottom pocket as well, so I could load up with snacks under there, reach round, pull a snack out, and then there's a little trash port just on the side there, so when you've finished eating you can just stuff it back into the pocket, so all your trash, all your rubbish is kept in the bottom there. Two big side pockets with elasticated tops to put your bottles in, walking poles, whatever. Two compression straps either side, roll top, and then on the front of the pack, two big stretchy pockets, which you can put like a 800 milliliter bottle in there, again phone or snacks or whatever in the front. It carried absolutely superb. It is a framed pack. Again, the frame can be removed, but it does have a carbon fibre frame in there in a horseshoe shape. And yeah, absolutely blown away with how the pack carried. I didn't even know I had it on my back half the time. So yeah, can't rate this company enough. Their sales and after sales, attention to detail, absolutely second to none. So that's Atom packs, superb. I did line the pack, although the material's waterproof, they haven't got the facilities to seam seal it. So water, it may seep in slightly. It did. My pack was by far not wet, but there was a little bit of moisture in there. So what I did is I got a rubble sack, tool station, about 80 pence, weighs about 40 grams, and I lined my pack with that. Zero problems. Brilliant idea. I thank Impala on trail for that, so thanks for that, Kyle. Good tip, and it works a treat. Okay, so that's my carry system. I'll go over to my sleep system now. I used the Cumulus Quilt 450, rated down to -1. Comes in at 710 grams. Absolute superb bit of kit. It's got a like a water resistant outer Pertex. So if you was to have a condensation or a bit of a spill or anything like that, it does sort of fight away the moisture. I didn't have no problems. It lofted every time. We did have some real wet days, but yeah, no problems with the quilt. Temperatures was getting down around the Glencoe area, around about -4, -5. This, with my pad and layering up with the merino base layers, I didn't have a problem. I was toasty warm. So that's the quilt. Moving on, I'll take a pillow. So I've got the Cedar Summit pillow. Great bit of kit. I sleep a lot better with a pillow. So yeah, that's if you want my luxury item. Another real luxury was the Cedar Summit Etherlite. I went for the large as well. Yeah, it's pretty heavy at 600 and something grams, but it's 4 inches thick. It's insulated. It's huge. It's like sleeping in your own bed at home. And after trekking, you know, sort of 15, 20 miles in all weathers, for me, a good night's sleep was very, very important. So yeah, I've got sleep mats a lot lighter than this, but for me, that was a showstopper. Absolute brilliant bit of kit. So that's pretty much my sleep system there. While we're down here, wow, these are brilliant. I used to have a lot lighter trekking poles, but they shit themselves after about a year. I got these black diamonds. I think they're called a Trail Pro. Wow, they're a little bit heavier, but God, are they robust? And I'd rather go with something that's going to last, you know, and not shit itself after a year. I mean, I've only used them for about 100 miles now, 120 miles. But yeah, absolute banging bit of kit, really robust. So all I'm doing now is just moving from right to left. So I've got a multi-mat, sit mat. You know, you turn up somewhere, you want a bit of lunch, and it's wet. The worst thing ever is sitting in a puddle or anything like that. So pull that out, and you've got somewhere nice and dry to pop your bum. Move down, waterproof kit. I went with the kilt, and why not when you're in Scotland? Great bit of kit. This one is just the Chinese copy, if you want, off of Amazon. I think it came in at about £15. Comes in at around about 86 grams. Tiny pack size. Put it on, stops the wind, stops the rain, and yeah, really good. Happy with that. No need for trousers anymore when you've got that on. Brilliant. Berghaus. What is this? It's their Sky Chaser rain jacket. It's supposed to be all singing, all dancing, breathable and waterproof, and yeah, it reads really well. I paid around about 90 something pounds for it in the sale. Absolute shit. It wetted out straight away. It didn't breathe at all. I sweated like crazy in it. I was drenched. I think one day I was close to going down with hypothermia because I didn't want to put on warm layers because this had shit itself and was just letting the water in. Yeah, that is a massive fail. So I'm sorry, Berghaus, but shite. So unbelievably, I went with a machinist sack, and I got this as an emergency, and I bought it from the Green Welly in Tyndrum. About £30. I went with a size bigger than what I normally take, just to give me that bit more room and a bit more airflow, and it absolutely blew me away. Yes, it's waterproof. By God, it breathed ever so well because there's vents on the back of it, vents under the arms. I went with a size a bit bigger to give me a bit more airflow. I can't rate it enough, if I'm honest with you. you've got supposedly a £150 jacket over there in the sale for 90, and you've got a 30 quid Kagul, and this is the winner. Absolutely superb. Plus it's smaller, plus it's lighter, and you stay dry. So win, 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 win. Brilliant, brilliant bit of kit. Next to that, my thermal layer, Decathlon down jacket. Again, superb. I was only wearing this when we'd pitched up, and I was dry, and I'm in a dry environment. Kept it in a dry bag within the pack liner, just so that it was definitely going to stay nice and dry, and I had something toasty to put on. Yeah, I've had it for about a year now. When I bought it, it was $39.99, believe it or not. I think they're about £10 more now, worth the extra tenner. $49.99 Decathlon, down to -5, and I believe it will go down to -5 because I've not been cold in it yet. Brilliant bit of kit, brilliant bit of kit. Okay, so I'm going to work up and across now to my shelter, and this was another interesting one. I had purchased a pre-tent soloist from Valiant Peaks, and yeah, you know, really good materials and grid stop Dyneema on the peg out points, and all singing, all dancing, but I felt that it was just a little bit too small, and if we did get real bad weather, I didn't want to be trapped in a little tiny tent and not being able to move. I couldn't sit up properly in it, you know, to get changed or get wet kit off. There wasn't room within the nest area to put my pack. It would have to stay into the vestibule, and I just wasn't happy with that. So I took my tried and tested Lanshan 2, and it isn't the Pro version, it's just the 2. Comes in at around about 1230 grams worth of pegs. I used that on the Yorkshire Wolds Way where we had pretty bad weather, so I knew it was going to keep me dry. I knew it's easy to pitch, it's robust, it's everything you want out of a tent, for like 300 grams more than the pre-tent soloist. So after long hard thought, I took that, and yes, we did get a lot of rain, and yes, was I thankful for it, because I could get all my kit in with me, and I could use the porch areas purely for drying, hanging stuff up and cooking, and it worked perfectly. So again, the Lanshan 2, brilliant. I can't you know, sing its praises high enough. Groundhog Minis, yep, say no more about them, great little pegs. And then we come on to the Titan. I had seen a review by Renegade Scott, Ray, and yeah, he was really raving these, and they did look good, and they're a great design and all the rest of it. And I hadn't used them in anger. I'd had a couple of overnighters up on Kinder Scout, but I hadn't really used them in anger. So first time using them, and we was pitching near the bovey, just round Loch Lomond there, and I pushed my first peg in the ground, and it shit itself. It bent nearly in two. Now bear in mind, I was wearing trail runners, really soft on the bottom, and that's what happened to it. So Titan, don't know what the hell that's about, but I don't think that's good enough at £5 a peg or whatever it costs. No, I won't be purchasing them again. Cook system, Alkit 650ml titanium pot, superb, very light. Gas, usual canister. MSR Pocket Rocket 2, fantastic. Lighter. Titanium spoon, long handled, and a little stuff sack to carry it in. It was for boiling water, it did the job. I'd put 600ml in there. That would do my evening meal or my breakfast. Pour the water into the dehydrated pouch. That'd be cooking, and then I'd chuck a 3-in-1 or a Taylor's coffee bag in the water remaining, and that was my brew. So yeah, another great bit of kit. No need for anything bigger, I don't think. $6.50 for a single person, perfect. Cadonine B3 filter, brilliant. Previous to that, I was using the Sawyer Micro. Nothing wrong with the Sawyer at all. Flow rate a little bit slow. I just wanted something where what I could unscrew, dip the pouch underneath a waterfall or into a stream, and get 600 millilitres of water, screw the top on, and I could drink straight from that. And that's exactly what it did. I didn't have to back flush it or anything like that. It worked superbly. Highly recommended. Dan Jones, one of the guys that I've sort of met on Facebook groups and YouTube, he recommended that to me, and yeah, I totally get that now. Brilliant bit of kit. A little multi-tool with a sharp blade on there. Didn't get to use it at all, but it was there just in case. Poop kit. So I've got my juice of spades, trowel, there's some toilet paper in there and some wipes, and there's also some sanitizer in there as well. Obviously that did get used. Socks, darn tough, absolutely superb. So I took a clean pair and then I had a pair on, and then I also had a pair of waterproof socks. I did have some sealskins. They shit themselves and burst straight away. So they are actually Aldi's own make. I think they're about 17 quid. I've had them 3 years and they are still watertight. So sealskins down, Aldi up. My warm kit for in camp, obviously we've gone through the thermal layer, but I had a merino wool Montane beanie, 1,000 mile merino socks, purely for wearing in bed, but if I couldn't rotate my other socks enough, they would come in for walking in as well. And merino wool base layers, long sleeved and tights. Yeah, sleeping kit. Hygiene was travel toothpaste, and then what I do is I take the head of, or the new head of a electric toothbrush. They're hollow and they weigh nothing. So I think with the little baggie, comes in around about 24 grams. Yeah, so that was pretty much my wash kit. And then when we got onto campsites where they had shops, we'd just buy shower gel and we would just shower ourselves, and then you're good to go. Electronics, usual power bank, couple of charge leads, head torch, headphones, and a double socket for charging. Brilliant. Got 6 charges out of that before I needed to charge it. Yeah, I kept all that in a Dyneema dry bag. Little plug there, Wildsky gear. Brilliant, brilliant little company. And yeah, if you're going to get any Dyneema stuff, give this guy a go. Really good. First aid kit again, same people. In there, Compeeds, usual stuff, couple of plasters. I took some KT tape, tick twisters, blah 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 blah. Yeah, brilliant. Blanket, you never know. It was there as an extra thermal layer for myself as well, just in case it really got cold. It never got used, and I've had that years. Compeed stick, brilliant. I did take the stuff for the midges. We didn't see a midgie, so none of that was used at all. So yeah, so that's the pack explosion there. All that came in sort of base weight around about 6 kg, something like that. Water carry on top of the filter, I did take a 600 millilitre smart water bottle as well. So I did have the capacity on me for carrying 1.2 litres. No need to carry any more. The West Highland Way is covered in water sources. You've got streams, rivers, you've got a big lock for a start, you've got waterfalls, you've got springs, you name it. There's honesty boxes, there's pubs, there's restaurants, there's shops. It's all there. So there's no need to carry litres and litres and litres of water. You're just weighing yourself down, no need whatsoever. Food, I went with Expedition Foods based in Hull. and they do, I think there's 3 different types, three different sort of calorie things. I'm not sure on the first one, it's around about 500 calories. Next one's 800 calories, and they do a 1,000 calorie meal. I went with the 800 calories, and they was plenty. There was so I had a breakfast of about 400 calories, and then I had 2 main meals of 800 calories, plus my snacks, plus trail mix and other bits and bobs, your coffees, protein bars, bits and bobs like that. So yeah, I wasn't hungry at all. And like I said, there's always restaurants and shops and all the rest of it for resupply. So I haven't got any of the food left because I ate it, but I took 2 breakfasts, 4 main meals, so I had sort of 48 hours of rations, and then I took enough drinks, coffees, and so on for 5 days. And then another little thing that I took with me as well, just to add to water, just so you've got something different to drink, was one of the little Robinson things that you just squirt in. So when I was sick of just drinking water, I had a nice sort of refreshing drink there, and they weigh nothing, and convenient. Yeah, just squirt it in, you've got a nice flavoured drink. So that's pretty much what I took. That's what I ate. That was my water. So what I'll do now is I'll get all this out of the way, and then I'll go through what I wore. Right, welcome back. Yeah, so this is what I pretty much wore on the day-to-day basis. So we'll start off on the top. So I have my Ultra snapback cap. It's a cap, say no more. Around my waist I wore a Atoms pack, fanny pack or bum bag, and in there I'd stow like my phone and some snacks and probably my rain kilt and just a few little bits that you need to hand. So yeah, that live around my waist. Again, absolute brilliant bit of kit. Worked, did exactly what I wanted it to, and it kept everything dry as well, so that was spot on. On my top half, on my mid layer, I've got an Alp kit grid fleece with a hood, got thumb loops on it as well. Really good bit of kit. It dried massively fast, and when it got wet, it kept me really warm, and it's got a treatment on there as well, so it doesn't smell. So it acts like merino. It sort of fights the odour. So yeah, really good bit of kit. Talking of merino boxer shorts, they're from Decathlon. Absolutely brilliant. To me, I don't want to sound like a minger, but I only wore or took the boxer shorts I was in. So because my shorts, which I wore here, which are the Under Armour, had a liner in them. So what I did when I showered myself, I washed out my smalls, and then I just wore my shorts because they had like the brief liner in them, and let them guys dry out, and then in the morning I was good to go. So I showered in the morning again, put on clean underwear, clean socks, and I was ready to go. Again, darn tough socks, brilliant. I've tried everything. I've tried Injinji, 1000 Mile, I've tried Bridgedale, I've tried everything. For me, they work the best. Fantastic bits of kit. Buff, wore it around my wrist. One of the most versatile, and I always used to hear people say this, one of the most versatile bits of kit you'll ever use. And I used to watch the videos and go, what the flaming are they on about? It's true. You can use, I use that as a towel. I used it to wipe sweat, wipe condensation, to wipe my pot out. I used it for everything. Same principle. When I showered, that got washed, dried out really quickly. You could use it when the temperatures dropped. I was putting it over my nose at night so I wasn't breathing in really cold air. Great bit of kit. Buff, get one. On my base layer was Adidas, an Adidas running shirt. Again, it was treated with something, so no odours at all. Fitted really well. I had no problems with that. It's all flat stitched, no rubbing. Fantastic bit of kit. So you haven't got to go out and spend a fortune on brand stuff. I think this was from my Sports Direct for a tenner. Awesome. Really good. And then down to my footwear. Yeah, another one. I do wear Lone Peaks, but I felt that I hadn't trained enough in them to do a multiple day through hike. and I didn't want to injure myself. So I went with New Balance, the Aero V6, I think they are. I don't know if they've got a 4 or 6 mil drop. They was good, they was comfortable. They dried out really quickly. They breathed really well. Toe protection, as you can see, did its job. Protected me throughout any boulder strikes or I'm volleying rocks off the trail. Didn't even feel it. Vibram sole, yeah, there's a bit of wear on there, but you know, for like 100 miles and some of the scrambling that you have to do around Loch Lomond, absolutely superb. They didn't slip once, even in wet mud. Because the lugs aren't massive, but they're positioned in such a way that they give you great support, and they've like got this rudder on the back. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of these really. I'm glad I went with these. The only thing I can moan about with them is they don't have a stone guard in the midsole, and they're relying on this fresh foam to protect you from the rocks. Now, if you're on a trail that was relatively smooth and just the odd rock, then yes, these are the ones. But the West Highland Way is like walking on broken boulders. It's very, very, very rough in sections underfoot. And what happened was, the ball of my foot, after hitting rock after rock after rock after rock after rock, they became bruised. And after around about 70 miles, they did become tender. So I had to KT tape, well, first of all, put compedes on, because it almost felt like a hot spot, although there wasn't a blister. And then KT tape over that. And I had to sort of like rest my feet probably every 10 miles or so. That's the only downside to these. If they had a stone guard in, they would be awesome. So for your lesser trails without loads of broken rocks or loads of miles of broken rocks, brilliant. For your rougher trails, go with something with a stone guarding, guys. But apart from that, yeah, brilliant bits of kit. So that's that. That's pretty much what I wore. Pretty much what my pack contained. And that's about it. Any sort of questions, please throw them at me. Like I say, I'm not a YouTuber. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. My second through hike. So I'm not an expert on any of this. I've clearly watched a lot of reviews and then put those reviews and recommendations into my own kit, and then hopefully my kit will then go on to inspire other people's kit. So yeah, but that's what works for me. It might not work for you, but it works for me. So thank you for watching, and yeah, stay safe.